I never understood a word she said, but I loved listening to her try.
It was adorable.
Yeah,
it was
she was
adorable.
Cute. Yeah.
It's like a cat wearing clothes. You're like, look at that.
So terrible. Oh. I'm so sorry. Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of Canada's Drag Race episodes 7 and 8. And joining me for this adventure, I'm going to call it the Willy Wonka Tunnel of Terror, is my illegitimate drag daughter, Wilhelmina Boxfire. Hello, Wilhelmina.
Hi, Wilma.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
All right. Well, it was
always.
another fabulous double week. Now, I just want to start by saying, next week,
the finale.
Already the finale.
Yeah, we ran out of episodes. We can't do a double header next week.
So we're going to be back next week with just the solo episode to kiss Canada's Drag Race.
Mwah.
Bye. But we're not there yet.
We're not quite there
We have
yet.
2 episodes to go. So, episode 7, we kicked off by saying goodbye to the two queens that got sent home, Kit and Caboodle, and Amy Yonsei Chanel, bless her. Bless her. Of course, everyone congratulated Nira for her win, and well done for her. She out lip synced everybody, and I have to say, I'm still surprised that she won. Not that I didn't think she deserved to win, but I so expected Aurora to do it, and she did what I think a lot of people thought was impossible.
She took Aurora down.
Yeah, so well done. Congratulations indeed. And of course, in her gracious moment, she had to point out to Denim that she was the only queen without a win.
Yeah, sorry. Was that foreshadowing or just some regular drag queen shade?
I don't know. I always think it's interesting, not just who kicks a contestant when they're down, but how recently did they win? And when they've just won and they still feel the need to kind of lord it over people, it's like, I see what's happening.
It was Venus that was giving her trouble, though. I think Nero was just exhausted from wiping off 2 mirror messages.
It was a lot of work.
It's a lot of lipstick.
It's a lot of stuff to do. Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff too. It's a lot of elbow grease.
Yeah. And as the winner of the challenge, you shouldn't have been wiping. But there was no lip sync for your life.
There was no lip sync for your life, yeah. So get into it.
Yeah.
Do you think she should have picked like one of the bottom queens? Been like, okay, Denim, I saved you.
You don't have a win. You clean it up. Yeah, I would totally. I think that would have been acceptable.
If you can reach. I don't think Denim could have reached.
Well, that's why they have stools and chairs and PAs.
She couldn't have done it. I like that Melinda immediately made it all about her by
I'm shocked. I'm sorry. I'm shocked by that. Just give me a minute to catch up. Okay, I'm there.
She tried to, make out, it was 2 Alberta queens winning back-to-back, and, sure.
And Lurdy-Dur.
Mm-hmm. Next day in the workroom, all the ancient crones were complaining about how their bodies were aching from the lip sync. So drag is very much a contact sport.
I also liked that it was a couple of them that had only lip synced once and they were still in pain. God. But Aurora and Nira, they lip synced 3 times.
Yeah.
So they should have felt it. Well, they're young and bendy. They shouldn't have felt a thing. I'm shocked that they're all that badly out of shape, quite frankly.
As usual, RuPaul's hologram showed up to give a completely unhelpful, cryptic message. And then Brooklyn sauntered into the room in some leprechaun...
I'm not enjoying her boy clothes. I wonder who the sponsor is. I keep meaning to check, but I really don't care.
No, a lot of Brooklyn's boy outfits, I'm like, is this a dare? Are people just having fun?
Yeah.
Do you just not care?
I also feel like some of them look like they're not finished.
I think that's the whole point. It's
like, we don't have shirts. Is that okay for you?
Is that fine?
That's
we
fine.
have 3 shirts that we'll stitch together. How's this look?
But bless her heart. And then I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this mini challenge. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They had to do with, it was an improv challenge.
Oh, God.
But they were reading a teleprompter and like reading the script as it was going by, Siobhan. And the thing that struck me about this was a very involved mini challenge.
Which...
I think it should have been a main challenge. It was a lot.
I was nervous. The whole setup was they were doing a phone-in sex and relationship advice show.
Yeah, like you do.
Like you do. And so they had to deal with not 1, but 2 cameras and the teleprompter.
Ooh.
And their complete inability to do improv. So I was trepidatious about this challenge.
To say the least, yeah.
To say the least. I mean, a teleprompter on its own is
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Have you used a teleprompter in the in the world?
No.
No.
Oh,
Stuff
sorry.
happened. Oh, yeah, I guess we have to talk about it.
Yeah. So this is the order that they went in?
No,
Oh. You didn't go through any of them?
Just the one? No, I just kind of commented on Venus had big hair and Grandma named
I'm
Kai.
just trying to remember a couple of them then.
They were all fine. Like, I don't think
Let's
I liked
start
it
with
as
that,
much
yeah,
as
yeah.
you did. But it was fine.
As I say, I enjoyed this challenge. Nobody did horrible. Like, because I think there's a level of failure that is worked into a challenge like this. Like, they want that level.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it when they deliberately try to trip the queens up, even though the challenge itself was enough to trip them up.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed that they're like, oh God. Because even just the insert name here is enough to
They didn't
to throw
say it.
people
They
off.
didn't say it. I was
Not
impressed.
No one read camera 2. No.
No.
One did. That was one of my favorite moments, was when Venus was doing something and then realized she was supposed to be doing it to camera 2, delivered the line, and then went, camera 2. Good job, Venus.
Yeah, well done. Well, and she ended up winning the challenge.
She ended up winning the challenge.
Yeah, good for her.
I thought it was well deserved.
Yep.
Yeah,
she was funny for all the wrong reasons, which were all the right reasons to win this challenge. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about Venus. When she fails, she enjoys it.
She's the most entertained by it.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Failure is hilarious.
Yeah.
If you do it right.
Yeah.
Right? Look at this. Look at this failure all over my face. It's fine.
I'm so glad. I thought you didn't know. And then it was time for the main challenge and exciting, the Rusical. Or should we call it the Brusical?
The Brusical, the
Sounds kind
Heitzical.
of date rapey. The
Yeah,
Brusical.
the
I don't want
Brusical.
to. No, but it was Brooklyn's life story from what was the age
From
range?
age 7 to age whatever most of her is right now.
So, of course, the characters were all Brooklyn, but at different stages of her life, and each stage had a song.
There was a little bit of a competition over who would play 7-year-old Brooklyn.
That was the first one, right?
That was the very first one. Yeah. Fetus Brooklyn doesn't really sing or dance, and it's very boring. So,
not
they
that.
skipped ahead to age 7.
Yeah. Ah, nice.
Which makes a lot of sense.
And it was Nira and Melinda who wanted that role.
Nira, Denham, and
and
Melinda
Denham.
all wanted it. And so they did the fair thing and had an audition, which only Melinda really seemed to make an effort at, which was weird. So Melinda got it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Mm-hmm. She wanted it more.
She wanted more?
Yeah.
She wanted more?
What I thought was, understandable because, well, she's whiny at best, but Nira wasn't happy that Melinda got the role.
No.
She also wasn't happy that everyone seemed to think that she would be the best choice for the pop star, Brooklyn.
Yeah, as soon as everyone read challenging choreography, all of a sudden, doing something out of their wheelhouse didn't include challenging choreography.
No.
So Nira got stuck with pop star Brooklyn, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
She seemed comfortable doing, like, why wouldn't I do the thing I'm good at? So I'm just going to do the thing I'm good at.
I thought that was a better role for Aurora, but she got Ballet Brooklyn, which was a challenge for her because she has never done ballet in her life. In fact, I was surprised to hear Aurora admit she's not a trained dancer at all. For all the dancing she does, she has never had a class. She's never even been to a class.
You know what surprised me more? Hearing that Melinda did have dance training. Once again, shocking me with some supposed talents that we'd yet to see.
So Brooklyn dropped by, like she does, to not only check on who picked what role and possibly, I guess, direct them a little bit, but to also judge their choices.
Judge their choices. Kiki had picked Cabaret Brooke, and Brooklyn thought that was a great chance for Kiki to show some freshness and youth and excitement, which very much shady. Very much some not even low key shade.
Implying that she hasn't shown any of that yet.
Yeah, no youth, no freshness, nothing exciting.
No.
Nice time in the show to find out that you're terrible at everything.
And then the queens went off to choreo with Hollywood Jade, who was rocking, 4 feet of nylon. I don't know what it was.
17 feet of...
I'm sure it was a real human hair wig that she borrowed. Because human hair wigs at the best of times are so expensive. I don't know why any queen would wear one. I don't know why any queen wants to wear human hair. They're very expensive. And they still end up with split ends. You're going to end up with a bob at some point. You're going to trim that up, and but I thought
expensive. It's cheaper to just adopt a child and harvest their hair.
I like Hollywood Jade.
He seemed to be in a better mood than he often is. I think he's finally realized that he's choreographing a lot of queens who don't know how to dance. So I think he's lowered his expectations and raised his level of compassion.
And I have to say, it was never more evident than when he was choreographing Aurora, because there was that moment where she said, I never had a dance class. Yeah. And you could just kind of feel in his soul the bottom fall out. He's like, oh, geez, this is going to be hateful. And she did a good job.
She did a great job.
Yeah. I think the thing with Aurora that she had going for her is she has excellent posture, which is key for ballet. And she just takes direction well. She doesn't question it. Yeah. She doesn't just stand like this, fine.
And she throws herself in, and she doesn't seem to be the slightest bit self-conscious when she's failing at something.
No.
That's the whole point of rehearsal is to fail and fail and fail, so you're not failing when you're on stage.
That's exactly right.
She seemed to thoroughly enjoy being manhandled by those delicious
it's been 7 weeks. I'm sure that they were all thrilled to be manhandled by this point. Yes.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Why else do the musical if you're not being manhandled by the backup boys?
Melinda was up next, and her dance training immediately abandoned her.
Did it? Or is that as much training as she's ever had?
I don't know. She seemed to get thrown off very quickly.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Bless. Yeah, I think the best way to go into these challenges is to say nothing to anyone.
Say nothing.
Because it's always the ones that, I sing, I've done it recording, I've done this before, and then you go in there and you suck.
Claim incompetence.
Mud, yeah.
Claim incompetence. Yeah. I've never been in drag
A microphone,
before.
You say? I have no idea.
I've never walked in heels. What is this dancing? I'm not familiar with this.
5, 6, 7. What's the next number? What's the next number?
No, I live in Footloose land. There's no dancing.
No.
No dancing allowed.
You'll be shunt.
Kiki had to deal with a cane, and I don't think understood the Fosse reference.
Not at all. And I get that. Fosse is not...
But don't say yes.
A current reference. But yeah, like if you know Fosse because you recognize the name, but you thought she said fussy, then you don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, come on, you haven't seen Chicago? Like, come on.
Nira was up next and killed it. If anyone wasn't worried about Nira in this competition before this, they were after. She lip-synced like a pro. The choreo seemed to just happen. And she even said at the end, I thought this was supposed to be hard. I thought this was going to be harder. Oh.
Yeah.
Am I too good for this? Ooh.
Which I quite enjoyed.
I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, if you're gonna show up, show off.
If everyone's gonna force you to take this role, then show them why they forced you to take the role.
Yeah.
Venus seemed to have a little bit of trouble handling the non-choreo of her choreo because it was a lot of face.
Yeah.
And as we've established, she likes to give a lot of face. She's got a big mouth. She likes to open it.
Yep. Go with your strengths.
Yeah. But now's not the time for the big mouth.
So Denim, wanting to prove her confidence and failed. The choreo was so difficult for her, and she even said, I'll get it, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. But it really obviously bothered her.
So next day in the workroom, the queens all got into drag. They talked about relationships and monogamy, and Aurora confessed that she'd had a crush on Denim years before. How exciting.
How many years before? She would have been 12.
Like 2 years before?
Oh, I see. All right.
I don't know.
So 16.
Well, in their lifespan, that's like a quarter of their lives.
That's
They're
true.
just babies.
That's true. And then it was time to head to the runway, and there was Brooklyn in a wedding dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking gorge. Yeah.
I was very confused.
Well,
I don't think they'd introduced what the category was for the runway at this point. So it was like, why does everyone look like they're going to a wedding?
Yeah.
Because they were supposed to look like they were going to a wedding.
Yeah. And joining them at the judges' table this week, Luann de Lesseps, who is apparently a housewife, a real housewife. Take a picture. You won't see this again.
A real housewife of New York City.
I don't care.
No, I don't watch any of the housewives.
I don't care. I think that the Real Housewives, all the franchises, are the reason we have Karens. Bunch of entitled women with maybe a little too much money in their pocket thinking they can flip a table just because somebody peed in their cornflakes.
Yeah, people are always very surprised when they find they're like, "Oh, you're a gay?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm a gay." "Oh, you must love the Housewives."
No, I do not.
I don't watch the Housewives. No. I watched one episode just to have
I like to know what's going on. Same with the Kardashians.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
watched
it took.
2 episodes of the Kardashians because I couldn't believe how mindless the first one was. I was like, oh no, this is all the show is. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I've watched enough. So
Did you watch them back to back, or did you break it up with them?
no, I watched them back to back. I was like, well, I'm some continuity. Maybe I need to really lock in on who these characters are. No, I don't.
No,
care.
you don't.
I do not care.
Yeah.
I don't care about faux outrage and wealthy people.
So right away, it was the Rusical. What do we think of the Rusical as a whole?
The Rusical as a whole was very enjoyable.
Did you enjoy it?
I thought the songs were catchy. I thought the performances weren't all necessarily
No, there was
as
some
good
interesting
as
performances.
the songs were.
But yeah.
But as far as Rusicals go, it was not a bad one. Melinda kicked it off.
Literally. Like,
Fine.
I don't know. Did she get kicked? She came out looking like the Annabelle doll, if you ask me. That was just, again, if I were Brooklyn and somebody was representing me at 7 and that's what I would have walked up on that stage and given her a Will Smith smack.
I must confess with Melinda, I was paying a lot more attention to the sexy backup dancers than I was
Thank
to
God for the
her.
sexy backup dancers.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. No.
But I always think if I'm looking at the dancers, it's because the main person is just
The
not
person
doing
you're supposed
a
to
good
look
enough job. So,
Yeah, the person you're supposed to look at isn't lookable.
so I thought Melinda did an okay job.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
But you
it
weren't
was-
watching her, so you couldn't
I
really
wasn't
say
watching
for
her, so
sure.
who knows? Who knows? She could have broken a leg, and I wouldn't have noticed. Aurora's lip sync was surprising to me in how little lip syncing there was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of ooh and just a lot of reactions, which were hilarious. It was much more of a comedy performance than anything else, but I thought the ballet was quite good.
I was impressed. She actually looked like she had taken a couple of classes
She
in her
looked
life.
very graceful. The lifts were very lovely.
Yeah.
Her timing was fantastic. I thought she was one of the stronger performers.
She also, this is something in ballet, there's something it's called attitude, and I know you think it's attitude like I'm giving you side eye or something,
Yeah.
but you hold your head in certain directions, and she naturally moved her head in the right direction. Like, so her attitude in their poses was actually quite naturally correct. So I was very impressed with Aurora. I thought she did a great job. So Kiki was up next, bless. And, well, what didn't she have trouble with?
The hat fell off.
Oh,
the
she
cane
dropped the
was a
cane,
challenge.
yeah.
The choreo was confusing.
Yeah.
The lyrics seemed to leave her multiple times. She kind of struggled through this whole.
Yeah.
whole
There was a level
performance.
of, like, she didn't rehearse enough. That sense of that
Yeah.
for me. Nira's solo, she crushed it.
She crushed it.
She was even better in the performance than she was in the rehearsal.
She was so good. I barely looked at the backup dancers.
Surprisingly, they were there with her.
They were, and they were
Because
wearing next
she
to
didn't
nothing.
need them. She was good.
She was fantastic. Yeah, I was like, oh, this feels like, Brooklyn doing that iconic lip sync that she did. So I was very impressed.
And there were a
by
lot of
Nira.
moves in her dance that I've seen Brooklyn do.
Yeah.
You know, not even on
Yeah.
Drag Race. Like, I've seen her do the performances, and there's that quick hair pause to let the hair flip thing that they both do naturally. They just seem to have that great little hair flick that just moves the hair
Let
the right
everyone
way.
enjoy.
Yeah. So well done, Nira.
Venus, I was also very impressed with.
Yeah.
She was up next to
Yeah.
Madame Butterface's Lament, and she definitely took the direction well. There was her face.
There was a lot more variety. She
lot
didn't look
more
like she was
levels.
trying to poop out a Lego block. She actually looked like she was emoting something more than that.
I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah. Well done for her.
Denim closed out the Rusical with Gospel Brook and counted her way through the steps and didn't bring nearly enough energy to Gospel, which was then glaringly obvious when the rest of the queens came out to join her in their gospel garb.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
really.
I was surprised. I as I said before, I really enjoyed watching Denim. I think she's a great queen, especially in things where she knows what she's doing. But this seemed to be so alien to her, and it really caught her up. It tripped her up for sure.
And if there's one dance routine where she could have faked her way through by substituting enthusiasm for dance steps, it was the gospel one.
Yeah.
Just looked like you're being possessed by, the Holy Spirit and shake it all out. And you could have got away with not doing
Anything.
any of the steps. And it still would have read as gospel, and it still would have been gorgeous.
Yeah.
But instead it was
But she
just,
didn't. Yeah. And then it was time for the runway, which explained why Brooklyn was in a wedding dress and everyone else looked like they were waiting for the buffet to open.
I was so confused when Brooklyn came out. I was like, what does this have to do with the musical? I forgot that they dressed for the runway.
Which was, the category is always a bridesmaid. So, the first queen down the runway was Melinda.
Wearing extra blush. Extra blush.
Or as I like to say, just blush.
Just an adequate drag queen amount of blush. Yeah.
She just had blush on that pasty ghost-like face of hers. And of course it looked like she had extra blush on because she has never had any on.
Yeah,
Bless her.
She was a vision in red and...
Not much else.
Not much else?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and give Melinda a finger don't. I don't think that just having an adequate amount of blush on your face makes the whole outfit work. No offense, but I'm offended. There you go.
Next down the runway, serving up some corpse bridesmaid realness, was Aurora Matrix. What did you think of this look?
I loved it.
Oh, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
The sad face, the sad eye makeup, the sparkly jewels, all the wedding invitations forming.
So fabulous.
On the dress and the bodice and all burnt. Yeah, I immediately got the reference she was giving, and I absolutely love this one.
Yeah. Of course, Aurora gets a finger do because who doesn't love a corpse bride? Come on. Trust me. They're better dead.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just going to lie there anyways, not doing anything on your wedding night, so might as well have the excuse of being a corpse. Kikiko wandered down, or crippled, limped down the runway.
Is that what she was doing?
As an old bridesmaid. I think maybe she just wanted to prove that she did know how to use a cane. So I thought her outfit was very pretty.
Yeah.
And then the old lady makeup.
It wasn't great old lady makeup, but it worked on her. I knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah, just being an old lady.
Yeah.
The one puffy sleeve and the one disconnected sleeve was kind of fun.
Very funny, yeah.
It was all very funny. It was all very cute.
Yeah. I just based on all that whimsy, I'm giving Kiki a finger do for sure.
Finger do to whimsy.
Yeah. So Nira looked like she was on her way to Georgia for the Peach Festival. I hate it when queens put on a hoop skirt and they don't have crinoline under the skirt because all you see are the ribs of the hoop.
All you see is the hoop.
And it always makes me crazy, especially with satin, which highlights every bump. Like, satin is the worst thing to wear on stage.
The worst.
Sequins are better and give you the same shine that satin will, but without the wrinkles or the lumps. But she still looked adorable. The hat, the parasol, like she went for the full tilt boogie, but I would have put a big old crinoline under that. Yeah,
it was cute. It didn't feel like bridesmaids to me for some reason.
I thought it was, but now mind you, I thought this was 70s bride, like very, like the bridesmaids that I remember at weddings when I was a kid, like lots of accoutrement, hats, parasols, little half gloves. Yeah, anything to distract from the bride.
Yeah, it felt more like she was off, to the races or something like that. Just, as a southern peach watching some horses run around.
Oh yeah, no. If we were in Georgia, it would have just been on her way to church.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then, I hate to give it to her only because she hasn't really been impressing me with her runways particularly, and you think that Venus would because she's so statuesque, but oh my God, this turned it around for me. This daisy hair that she had on the wig. Oh, first of all, when she came out, you could only see that one eye. What bothered me right away was that she had no makeup on. It looked like. But she just had very clean bride's makeup on, or bridesmaid, like not a lot of color or contour, but that was a cute little winged eye that she had on. And then the petals, I wish that she had come out with her head down and then brought it up to show, because standing there, it looked like a weird wig. Like there was just that minute where I'm like, what am I looking at? And then once you saw it, it was stunning. I thought this was so unique. I love that wig. I want to know who made it.
Yeah, I'd never seen a wig like that before. So it was like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah, excellent job.
And then that floral collar that she had. I think she was saying it was all the flowers that she'd ever had, and anytime she was a bridesmaid, it was the conceit. But I just thought it was, I thought
she was the bridal bouquet, really, is what she was.
Ensemble, the bouquet that you don't want to throw away.
No, so I totally gave her a finger do. Even though what she was giving us was a big old nosegay.
Oh, it's a flower reference. Nosegay. I get it. I don't know what a nosegay looks like. But
it's a little bouquet that you hold up near your nose because back in the day, everyone smelled. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a little bouquet of flowers that you just literally, if you're talking to somebody in the horse and buggy era, and they were breathing on you and stuff. You just held it up to your nose and
Softly
breathed through
breathe.
it. Yeah.
The 1800 equivalent of, would you like a mint?
Yeah, it's just to hold your flowers up near your nose.
Oh. It's kind of rude. I wish I had a gigantic...
But keep in mind, everyone smelled then, so if you were offensive, you must have had a specific combination of odors
What were
happening.
you rolling in?
So Donald Trump.
Yeah. And then last day on the runway was Denim wearing every single garter belt that had ever been flicked at her at a wedding.
This was a gorgeous outfit.
This was a great outfit. The only thing that kind of held it back for me was Denim's like, I wanted to serve my femme fantasy, and then again did no padding and no hips and no boobs, and I was like, okay. Like I would have liked a little more femme, which I know for Denim is problematic, because you're...
Yeah, I get that. And she still likes to show off her body hair, and why shouldn't she? Yeah, I love that.
And body hair and boobs? Fantastic. Body hair and hips, but I get why...
Have you ever seen Alice in Chains here in Toronto perform? Yeah, she's got a hairy cleavage.
I love a hairy cleavage.
I love it.
Yeah, I just wanted a little more... I just wanted a little more shape to it, even if it was just some hips.
But I will say this, that because she was wearing garters, like little gathered bands, it gave her some shape.
It did, yeah.
But I have to say, I just thought this was such a feminine, pretty little outfit to wear. And surprising, again, this is Denim's best on the runway. Like, she just seems to pull these looks together that are very unique. And why somebody hasn't put a whole look of garters together before. Yeah. And if they have, I've just never seen it. But this was gorgeous. And I totally had no trouble getting her a Fingerdoo for this. So well done, Denim. And then it was time for the judges' critiques, of which there were none, it seems. I get it. You get somebody lacking talent like that housewife. They're going to be thrilled that anybody's doing anything. And I think the queens did do a good job. This wasn't a terrible musical. I wasn't as much of it. Like, there are better musicals, and that's how I judge them. But this wasn't the worst. We've seen worse. We've seen worse performances.
We've seen much worse.
I can see why the judges were having trouble being more critical than they were.
Yeah, they did comment that Nira had kind of showed them the same thing the week before.
Yeah.
So she kind of got
But
dinged.
she lip-synced 3 times. Of course she's going to show you the same thing sooner or later. Come on.
I mean, there's always that point. It's like, okay, we're getting towards the end. Do I do the thing I know I can do well so I make sure I'm here next week? Or do I take a chance and show the judges something new and exciting so that I'm here next week? She went with the former. But
I would have done that. Like, because let's just say it. Her tried and true is still better than most people's experiments.
Yeah, I don't think you should get dinged for being good at something.
No.
Even if they've already seen that good thing. But it was only the week before. So, I thought that was understandable, but also slightly unfair. Yeah. Maybe they were just looking for things to say, but I would have had a lot more things to say than that. The judges did comment that Denim obviously showed a lack of confidence on stage. She probably got some of the harsher reviews.
And they still weren't horrible.
They
still loved her. But yeah, if anyone was worried about who was in the bottom, well, definitely it was Denim.
Yeah, without question, Denim was gonna end up in the bottom this week.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
So despite the judges' lack of enthusiasm over Nira's performance, she still made the safe queens, which were her, Venus, and Aurora.
And then, to no one's surprise, Aurora took the win.
And well, so she should have. She did an excellent job. I was kind of thinking that Venus might, because I thought that runway was really something that put her right over the top. Yeah. But I think that Aurora had the harder choreography to sell. And she did such a good job.
Equally good runway, I thought.
No, her runway was stunning.
I absolutely love what Venus showed us. It was probably the most unique thing I've seen on that runway. This is the
first episode for me of the whole season where Venus impressed me all around. I mean, I don't think she's a bad queen, but I'm just not particularly impressed by her style of drag. And this week she impressed me. So good for Venus. So landing in the bottom this week, no surprise it was Denim. And I don't know if it was much of a surprise that it was Kiki Ko.
No, not really.
Yeah, and she didn't have a smooth performance for sure.
Yeah, based on the performance of, Melinda was a bottom queen, but her performance was good enough to save her from the lip sync.
This time. I loved this lip sync because I love me some Julie Black, and why she has not been on Drag Race, Canada's Drag Race as a judge, I will never know.
She should be. Has she not been? She
Oh,
should be. Call her up.
if she has, it was the first season,
her
and that was the
up.
end of it. But I just love Julie Black. I have met her on a number of occasions, and did you trip over that name?
I did. I tripped
I'm
right
so
over
sorry.
that name you dropped.
Well, I was in radio. I interviewed people, and she was somebody that I was very happy to meet just at the beginning of her career. She was starting to get radio play, and she's just so proud to be Canadian, so community-minded, so happy to be there and to entertain. And I think she would be an excellent judge because I think she would give the Queens good critiques.
She would give them good feedback, yeah. Did you see her on Amazing Race Canada?
No, I did not. I don't watch shows like that because I don't care. But she's lovely. I
Singing
love her.
away, having a good time.
Yeah.
Good
I
time.
love you, Julie Black. So they lip sync to her 7 Day Fool, which is such a good song.
Which is such a great song, and I felt it deserved a better lip sync.
It did. I was surprised. I expected, well, I'm not saying I expected more out of Denim, but Denim has always surprised me by like she'll just out of the blue drop a split or something. You just don't expect her to do that.
I also felt that Denim was kind of offbeat a lot of
times.
I
have to say, I was really more drawn to what Kiki was doing.
Yeah.
I thought she did a better job in the lip sync, but nobody asked me. No
We're
one
not
cared what we thought because it was Denim who stayed, and it was Kiki who shantaed away.
Bye, Kiki.
What do we think of that?
I thought it was fair. I did think Kiki did a slightly better job in the lip sync.
In the lip sync.
For most of it. I did think Denim kind of pulled it out towards the end, but I'm much more interested in seeing what Denim's going to bring next week than I was. I kind of feel like we've seen everything with Kiki. We know she's going to have some fabulous outfits. We know she's going to have some great wigs. We know she's going to have some great makeup. But
so are a lot of other people.
That's all that we know.
Yeah.
That's all that we know. Denim at least is going to surprise me, going to do something unique. And I would always rather watch that queen who's weird and out there than the queen who's solid and good.
Because you can watch solid and good anywhere.
Yeah.
That's happening all the time.
You just have to flesh it when you're done.
Yeah. Which brings us to episode 8, and they kicked that off by everyone admitting that they couldn't believe Melinda was still in there.
Which I thought was fun. I also thought Melinda handled that much better than I thought she was going to.
Well, I thought she was going to flip a table and walk off, but I guess because last week they had a real housewife there who knows how to do that stuff firsthand, she felt she was up against it. I don't know.
I guess if everyone's telling you the same thing, eventually you have to be like, I wonder if they're right.
Oh, it's not me.
I wonder if they're right.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, maybe it is. Oh, yeah. So I thought she handled that quite nicely.
Yeah. And then whether or not Melinda should still be in the running for the crown became a moot point because there was Bradley in the worst fitting suit I have ever seen. I love the color. Who doesn't love a pink suit?
Who doesn't love a pink suit?
Very Terry Mugler, 1989. I loved it. I love bell bottoms.
Who doesn't love bell bottoms?
I also don't mind a high hem, a flood pant. I don't mind those. But when you have floods that are also bell bottoms, it just makes you look like you don't know how to buy pants.
Yeah.
And because Bradley had on those platform shoes, that's what made the pants look too short for him. When you're wearing platform shoes, you have to lower the hem of your pants past the shoe because there's too much shoe.
It's too much.
Especially a black, heavy, chunky platform like he had. It just becomes the focus of the whole thing. That's going to give you a Miranda stare.
Why are you showing us your ankles?
Yeah, stop it.
See your ankles.
Stop it.
You slattern.
Yes.
Show us your ankles.
No kidding. But I think all was forgiven because Bradley had a very special mini challenge. This was not just a mini challenge.
Not just a mini challenge. It was a mini challenge with loads of crying
off
the top.
It was so heartfelt because everybody's loved one was there.
First person through the door was Nira's buff fiance, Jacob.
Lovely. Just those arms. Love it. Venus's loved one was her mom. And wasn't she cute?
Joanne.
Yeah. There's
Mama
that tall,
Venus.
skinny drink of water with a real mom. Aurora's BFF Trinity was there. Oh God, she was so beautiful.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah, and I was really touched to hear the story of how Trinity's family kind of adopted Aurora, and
I thought that was lovely. I also thought it was really nice. Trinity brought in some letters from
her parents,
from Aurora's mom and dad, which they then milked for some TV by making and making her read them in front of everyone. But I thought that was a very nice, very touching, very lovely thing for parents to do. Denham's little mom, Cheryl, popped in
Adorable.
Next. Adorable. I didn't think anyone could cry more than until another mom came through.
Oh my God, and Denham lost it. But then why wouldn't she? I have got to say, I think that Denham's mom, Cheryl, wins the award for the best supportive parent in the world, because what she went through to help her son transition.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, they were from PEI. Like, first of all, none of what Denham needed was there.
No.
She had to go off island for all of that. And
did you know how expensive it is to get off that island?
You don't go off island for just anything.
No, that's most of the budget is right there.
And then last through the door, and certainly not least, was Melinda's partner, Scott. And my heart nearly broke. Every judgy thing I ever said about Melinda, I felt so bad because, here she is with her partner, and her partner had recently suffered a stroke, so they've been dealing with that. And I'm sorry, there are a lot of people out there who are partnered to really great people, and the minute it all goes cattywampus, they hit the streets. They get the hell out of Dodge. And for Melinda to not, and helping somebody back from a stroke, even if it's not as severe as some strokes can be, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of patience. And, to help somebody, I'm just going to say this on camera because this is what you did for me. Coming out of the hospital, and it was so important. And when you have people like that in your life, they're worth their weight in gold. So kudos to Melinda, and here's to Scott. God bless you. You got a good one, and the two of you, I hope you have many, many more days of good health and happiness.
And blush.
And then it was mini challenge time, and I love this mini challenge because normally the queens get into quick drag on their own, but this time they had to have their partners, not just put them in drag. It had to be quick drag, which is about what they all got.
Oh, God, yeah. So they had to get into quick drag so they could do a little headshot photo shoot. Nothing particularly outlandish, but... Oh, girl.
Oof. Kind of wish some of it had been outlandish to distract from those looks. First of all, Melinda has never looked better.
Melinda never looked better. Who's doing the makeup, Melinda?
I also want to say this. I love the fact that the queens had to do the photo shoot and then see what they look. I had no idea what they looked like.
That was my favorite.
That's
I love that
because they were in their regular drag head. I look like this, and it's like, well, you don't.
Yeah, I did feel that Scott got very close to Melinda's usual look. So
I
know that you normally look like you're dead. I'm not sure why she screamed when she finally got a look at herself because
I didn't see much of a difference.
Yeah. Nira looked like she got into a fight with her makeup palette. Fine, nice little blonde little bob there, yeah.
Jacob looked like he put Nira's makeup on like he lifts weights.
Yeah, like he just punched it onto her face.
Yeah. But who cares? Look at him.
Look at him.
Take your shirt off, Jacob.
Yeah. Denham looked like Dee Snider. Didn't you find that as
I'm going to say I think that Denham's mom did one of the better jobs because first of all, she used to do Denham's makeup when she was in a competitive dance. So there was that background. Yeah. But I think they were very smart to put that big wig on her head and kind of hide a lot of what went on.
It's just...
But also, Denham looked like she was having a ball.
Yeah, Denham looked... I think Denham was just thrilled that her mom was there.
Yeah, I think Aurora lucked out because clearly her friend Trinity has either seen her put on her makeup or at least knows what she looks like in drag makeup. Because although this wasn't Aurora's standard of makeup, she looked fine.
She looked good, yeah.
She was definitely one of the better looking ones.
I just feel like they'd probably done this challenge at a slumber party at some point in the past, so didn't feel like that much of a stretch for Trinity.
Yeah, Trinity's put Aurora into makeup before.
Yeah.
For sure.
Venus's mom claimed that she was going for some 80s Cher glam.
Well, I'm glad she told us what she was going for.
Yeah, because Cher has some words. Cher has some words.
Oh, yeah.
If that's what you think 80s Cher glam looks like.
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't go to any parties where Cher is because she will slap you back to the 80s. She'll turn back time for you, I'll tell you what.
Slap you so hard you turn back time.
Do you think that would work?
Yeah, let me try it.
But despite how good any of them looked, Melinda and Scott won the challenge. And to celebrate that mini challenge win, it was time for the maxi challenge, which was time for payback because all of the queens had to now put their loved ones into drag. But that wasn't the end of it. This is what I loved about this challenge. This kind of just gave it that twist that made it more interesting. They also had to make their loved ones an outfit out of scratch, like from scratch.
Which I liked. Yeah.
I was very impressed by that, which meant that these queens either had to match up something they already had or hope for the best. And the funny thing is that we still have a couple of queens in the cast. But Denim was very lucky because her mom does.
Her mom does so, yeah. And
so there were some technical issues with her machine, and her mom kind of stepped in. I don't know if she solved them. I don't remember, but she at least stepped in and kind of talked Denim back from the ledge.
I think that was the best part of it for Denim, is that she had someone who knew how to deal with her confidence when it's flagging and all of that. So it was just nice seeing Denim to be able to, like, my mom is here, and just kind of lean on that, for a little bit,
And as per usual, Brad popped back in to check on the Queen's progress, and he didn't come alone.
No, he brought this week's guest judge, Serene Fox.
Yeah, she looked gorgeous.
We've seen before. We're happy
her.
to see her again.
I think she's a great repeat judge on Canada's
I think she's
Drag
a fantastic judge.
Yeah, she's very
on all the time.
Very, she has great insights.
Venus and Serene had a nice little chat about Indigenous representation.
Yeah. I was a little sad for Nira when Brad suggested that she try and keep things elevated and fashion, which suggested that he didn't think she would.
No, I think the words arts and crafts, not arts and crafts, may have come out of his mouth. Denim seemed to really impress the judges with her looks, or her ideas for her looks.
Well, the drawing that she had, she didn't show them the outfit, but the design sketch she had for the outfit she brought for herself, stunning. But then when she said she was going to paint velvet...
It was very impressive. Serene gave some advice about the dangers of spray painting velvet. I thought that was an unexpected little treat.
Yeah.
Who knew?
And useful. Not a lot of the time when the judges give advice and it has nothing to do with construction or how to do it. And I thought that was very good of her. So Aurora and Trinity were next, and they already had a new name for Trinity, which was Supernova. Which Brad immediately called BS on because he felt that nothing that Aurora was showing him said Supernova.
No, Aurora brought some green fabric and some lace and some pretty trim, and Brad was just like, okay. And then that screamed Supernova to me. It's like, oh, okay. Tough crowd. Melinda surprised me by saying she was going to put a big updo on Scott, which...
So what she's saying is she's capable of that, but she just won't do it for herself?
Yeah, she's not unfamiliar with styling week. She just chooses not to do it. Choices.
Bless her.
So next day in the workroom, the queens and their plus ones all got dragged up, and there was a lot of chat about how the queens had all met their partners.
I love that Melinda had to go out of province to meet her husband.
I know. Well, Melinda and Scott met at a bathhouse, which is a classic gay love story.
Yeah. In Toronto, a Toronto bathhouse. So it's already twice as dirty.
Twice as dirty. Plus, who knows how long ago it was. There were way dirtier bathhouses a decade ago than there are now.
No kidding. Of course, the other classic way to meet somebody in the gay community is on an app.
Yeah, Nir and Jacob, I think, met on an app, which is the modern gay love story.
And
Nothing wrong with that.
They escalated their relationship quite quickly.
Yeah, and Nira made Jacob gay.
Yeah.
Up until that point,
he was very closeted, very introverted.
Yeah. Straight boy.
Yeah.
And Nira just pulled him out of the closet.
Which always are the sexiest ones.
The sexiest one.
And then it was time for the runway. Category is A Star is Born.
First down the runway were Venus and Uranus, and dressed as the red carpet and
the statue.
Which I thought was cute.
I'm going to go ahead and say I did not like Uranus's dress because it just they had no undergarment under it, not even I think a bra, so it just was very sack of potatoes to me. But that said, I thought they did a great job in what they were aiming for.
It was, and I was also, I was throwing my mind back to Venus's first design challenge and was actually very concerned if anything was going to come down the runway. So I was quite pleasantly surprised by this. I got the reference, I got the story. The outfits weren't earth-shattering, but they were okay. They
weren't the worst.
They were better than I expected.
And I have to say that it was surprising how much makeup Venus put on her mom. Because she doesn't put that much on even on herself. So because of that, there was no family resemblance to me. Uranus looked gorgeous. Yeah. I'm not saying she didn't, but she could have been anybody's mom. There was nothing specific to Venus there. So I'm I'm going to give them a Fingerdoo because I still think they looked like they were having the best time ever. And that's really what it's all about for these makeover challenges for me. Yeah. Next down the runway. Oh, I was really looking forward to this until, well, I saw it. Near Enough and Buff Enough. And I thought Neera did a great job on Buffy's makeup.
I thought Buffy's makeup looked amazing, and I thought Buffy looked like a man in a toga.
I wish that Neera had gone with even less fabric because this just looked like a frat boy.
Yeah.
At Halloween. I'm going to grab this curtain and I'm going to throw some makeup on my face.
With some great makeup. I think the thing that was detracting, I think the judges mentioned this later on, is just if you're that muscly, if the base that you're working on is that big, get some huge padding, get some big hips, get a big bum, get some giant honkers.
Yeah, even if she didn't have the boobs, her shoulders are so big that she needed hips.
Yeah, she needed something to.
She was padded.
Yeah,
she was padded. Oh yeah, that was a bit of padding there, but not a lot, and not as much as she needed.
Yeah,
it was near enough.
It was. Oh, see what you did there? I thought that was clever. Yeah.
God bless. They tried. They tried, and I'm still giving them a Fingerdoo.
Next down the runway, Melinda and Conchita Verga. Same pale makeup, some bigger hair, which was nice to see.
I am just going to say that I can't get over how much better Conchita looked than Melinda. The dress was better.
Very fair, yeah.
The dress was better. The wig was better. Clearly Melinda is capable of these things and just doesn't care to do them. Did they look like family? No.
No, I thought their runway presentation was very confusing.
Yeah.
It was because Melinda was yelling and no one quite knew why, and it was just weird. And that part was odd, but... Yeah.
But I am definitely giving them a Fingerdoo too because Melinda impressed me that she was at least capable of doing this, even though she hasn't. Denim and Velvet were next, and the fact that Velvet came out first was genius.
Genius.
Because everyone thought it was denim. She looked like denim.
It was spot on. I thought that was a brilliant move having her come out first.
Yeah.
Because I had that moment. Like the judges were all like,
denim looks cute. That's not denim.
Her mom?
Denim's outfit right away. I'm sorry. I remember at the beginning I said I love the nerdiness of her drag, but I want to see her in a gown once. Well, there it was.
There was.
And it was denim and the pockets in the back. It was the most beautiful. And the little bit of spray paint pattern. And then on her hair.
On the hair and on the dress, I thought was
gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Such a good idea.
And then Velvet. It looked fantastic in Velvet. And they still got the spray paint going on that. And it was great. The fact that they were spray painting little patches, little stars on there, I didn't understand that's what Denim had in mind during the walkthrough. If I had known that she was just doing that kind of thing, then I would have been like, oh yeah, that'll be fine.
You wouldn't have been so nervous.
No. And again, I think Denim is a great makeup artist. So the fact that she translated that onto her mom's, it wasn't as clean a look as she does for herself, but there was no denying who they were.
It was, yeah.
So Fingerdoo for both of them. In fact, I take away everyone else's Fingerdoos because this was so good.
Retracted.
Yep, there you go.
Finger retracted.
Yep, finger don'ts.
Good, you should do that more. And last but not least were Aurora and Supernova.
Yep.
And Supernova came out first.
She did come out first, but there was no trouble knowing who she was.
Yeah, we're just like, okay, yeah, we know who that is. Yeah, we've seen this done. Again, I like it when the guest star gets to come out first. I think that's nice. Mm-hmm. And I thought they both looked really good.
They looked really good.
I thought Trinity looked really pretty.
The only thing I had a problem with in this look on Supernova was, even though she's wearing a sweetheart neckline, it was too close here. Mm. It really needed to be a little, those cups need to be wider apart, especially when you looked at Aurora's dress that she brought, like her décolleté, it was more proportionate.
Yeah.
And that's all. And that's just down to the fact that Aurora is not a sewer, but look at how much better this dress was than the last one she did.
So much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a transformation.
I still give them a Fingerdoo because I think that Aurora, the fact that she made that dress compared to the last one, well done.
Yeah.
Way to step it up.
And once all the sparkles and sequins had settled down, the tops were revealed to be Denim and Venus.
Yeah.
No surprises there.
Yeah, because I think that of the other queens next to Denim, I think that Venus, her mom did look good.
Yeah.
I still don't think she looked like Venus, but yeah.
Which is weird since they're related.
Yeah.
That's very odd.
That's the power of makeup right there. Venus should try wearing some.
To no one's surprise, Denim took the crown, winning $5,000 for herself and $5,000 for P-Flag Canada, which I thought was
Excellent.
a very nice
Excellent.
nod, especially since her mom was along for the win. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Well, it was no surprise that it was going to be Neera, although I'm surprised she was in the bottom just because she's Neera. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Buffy landed her in the bottom. And again, no surprise, Melinda.
Yeah.
So I guess it was no surprise to anyone that the bottom two were Neera, which I will say was a bit of a shock to me only because she'd been doing so well. But yeah, she should have been in the bottom.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
Buffy was a hard bit of road.
If it was just being judged on the face, I think she would have had a much better chance of not ending up in the bottom. But unfortunately, there was a whole outfit that we had to take into account. So sorry.
And then the other one was Melinda, and they had to lip sync to one of our faves, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Carly Rae Jepsen's I didn't just come here to dance.
No, you did not.
No.
But that's what they did.
That's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
At first, what did you think of this lip sync? I thought it was a little. I thought it would start off a little lackluster.
I felt Melinda got desperate somewhere in the middle and just started doing things to, like, none of her movements seemed to be organic to what was lip syncing.
She gives me a lot of drunk at a wedding a lot of times. Like it's very frantic and very.
And they're aggressively coming on to you.
Yeah.
It's like they're humping the stage while staring at you without blinking. Hump, hump.
Like, there was a lot of rolling around and splits and jump. Like, it took a while for things to warm up. And like, it looked like Neera was just holding her outfit up for half of it, and that kind of restricted her.
And she moved around. But even Neera just moving around is still pretty good.
Graceful and fluid. Yeah, she's glorious to watch.
Moves like a dancer. Yeah. I have to be honest, I don't really remember, nothing in this lip sync stood out. No. There was no big moment that was like, oh.
Like, I warmed up to it as it went along, but I still felt as
it got better as it went along.
Yeah.
But when it was all over, I don't know. Who do you think actually won that lip sync if you were going to pick?
Oof, I kind of would have given it to Melinda. I think I would have. I think she was just doing a little more floor work. Yeah. She was just doing a little more hands. Like, she just seemed to get into it a little faster than Neera did.
But one of the things that the Canadian judges do, or at least the judges on Canada's Drag Race seem to be doing, is taking into consideration other things when they're judging the queens. So there's definitely a level of, well, Melinda's been here before.
Yeah.
And, well, so had Neera, but not in the same way. So I think it was right that Neera stayed.
I don't think Melinda could have won.
She wasn't going to win, no.
I think she won this lip sync barely.
Yes.
Like, I would have given it to Melinda
She just barely. Did more. There was more to catch my eye.
But I also kind of felt like, I think we've seen all that we're going to get from Melinda. So I wasn't too shocked when the judges sent her home, but I definitely felt like it was more of a production decision than actually based on the lip sync. But sadly, the ghost of Melinda Verga was sent back to Edmonton without her blush.
Oh, or maybe that's all she had. I don't know.
Maybe that's all she had. Yeah.
But good for her, and congratulations to her. I think that nobody expected her to last this long when she walked into that workroom in that rainbow onesie. And I will say there were quite a few moments in this competition where she surprised me, which is what it's about.
Yeah.
And well done, Melinda. And as much as we judged her to filth, I thought she was an entertaining queen. She certainly gave us some interesting TV.
She was great TV.
She walked out twice. That's worth it right there.
Absolutely.
In a huff.
She walked in a huff, which she should have worn more often because it just brought a little color into her face.
It really added more color, yeah. And there you go. Episode 8 done and dusted. And then, I'm sorry, but I had no idea. Next week is the finale.
It crept up on me.
I thought we at least had one more episode. I thought they were going to go to top 3, but no, they're doing top 4. And I started to think, well, they had one episode where no one went away, but then they had one episode where two went away. So they're on schedule. I don't know why. I'm not complaining.
Oh, no.
Don't get me wrong. I am okay for it all to end. But we have our top 4. Aurora, Denim, Neera, and Venus. What do you think?
I think this is a pretty solid top 4. I mean, right off the bat, with Venus, I didn't want her like her.
No.
But I liked her. And then the more she showed us, her sense of humor and just how ridiculous and silly she is, that just brought me in and drew me in and made me like her more. I'm thrilled that Denim is in the final.
So glad to know her.
I love a weirdo. And she certainly made a great first impression as being a fabulous weirdo. And then Neera and Aurora, I'm not mad at. Like, no. They didn't maybe jump out to me right off the top.
No, Neera's a great
But they grew
queen
on me
for
for
today,
sure.
very on trend with what is popular from a drag queen. And the fact that she does a good face and wears really great costumes and can perform. And speaking of performing, Aurora, what a treat.
What a treat.
I would love to see Aurora win because I think of the 4 queens left, she is the strongest for me. She's also shown the most versatility, especially in things she didn't think she was going to be good at. She was all right in. So
this is what people forget about the show. They're not looking for Canada's best drag queen.
no,
They're looking for a TV show, and they're looking for someone that they can parade around for a year.
Yeah.
And I don't think that person was Melinda. Like I don't think just because of her age is one thing, but definitely her looks and things. I don't think that's necessarily what they want in a winning queen.
No. I also think Nira, as much as I like her and as strong a performer as she is, the judge, she already has started to bore the judges. Do you know what I mean? Like there was already a suggestion that they'd seen it before from them to her. And she certainly didn't do anything to change that for this lip sync.
No.
So she's got one more episode to kind of throw it down harder, and we'll see if it makes a difference. But yeah, I do think that it's down to Denim and Aurora. I'll tell you, I would not be sad for any of these queens to win.
No,
I think they all deserve it. They've done a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they'd all be great representations. I don't honestly know how much is involved as the reigning queen.
You're just the headliner for the tour.
Are you just the headliner on the tour?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Because that's the only thing that gets me concerned about Denim. I was like, if you have to do a lot of interviews and stuff like that, is that gonna?
I won't listen to one of them.
Is that gonna crush you down, or is that gonna just help build up your confidence and get you to come out of your shell? So that's the only thing that if they're considering that, that's the only thing that might work against Denim. But she's such an interesting queen that
she's so lovable and sweet.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be upset if she won. And certainly I think that her drag would be interesting to be a showcase for Canada because she's proven that she runs the gamut from her own style to what is considered to be classic. So how about you? Whose team are you on? Let us know in the comments down below. And speaking of down below, don't forget to give this video a like if you did and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Also, leave us a message because those are the 3 best ways to support this channel. If you would like to support this channel even more, you can leave us a tip or do either through the YouTube thanks button, which is located just below this screen, or you can go to the description box where there is a link to my tip or do link to PayPal, joining the Fingerdoo family on Patreon, or getting your Wilma merch from my Redbubble store. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having.
And until next week, miss us. Mwah! Seriously.
Did I use the hand that still has some nails on? Good.
Oh my God.
Good.
Well,
Every time I learn something, and this time I've learned that
you need
my
to clean your
fingers are
nails.
Greasy and disgusting.
Yeah, you need to clean it because I'm not having any. Normally they all just
no,
like popcorn.
Because you do nothing. You do no manual labor, so why would your nails be greasy or disgusting?
I have lived a very long life without doing manual labor. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I think that is a skill in itself. I have to tell you, I am kind of glad that it's over.
Are you? Are you not enjoying this season of Drag Race?
No. I mean, it wasn't bad. It surprised me that it got better. I think that I wasn't expecting much on episode 1, and I wasn't disappointed.
Well, I find that with every season of Canada's Drag Race, it starts off and I'm like, ooh. And as it goes along, I'm like, oh, fantastic, except for the first season. But yeah, they really, I feel like every season, it does this where it starts and we're like, and the judges are like,
I even started to like Brad by the end there.
Well, you did. You started giving Brad
complimenting.
You started mentioning what he was wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, you really didn't like that one episode. But
that was just the fit. It wasn't him. Yeah. But I think that when he wears bad clothing on camera, it reflects on him as a stylist. It's true. Because that's his only claim to fame.
It's true.
But yet when he walks out in an ill-fitting suit, it's like, well, who are you styling?
What's going on? Unacceptable.
Honey, what's happening? We've talked about this.
Oh, honey, what's happening?